Hello, today I'll be talking about the integration of network-connected electronic sensors into the modern world. Network-connected electronic sensors are increasing in prominence throughout society as they are becoming cheaper, more powerful, and smaller. As you can see in the graph, the amount of sensors for common use has been increasing over the years. So what are these sensory devices? Sensory devices encompass a variety of technology, including self-regulated building, wearable devices, and automated cars that integrate elements like light, heat, motion, and sound from the outside world with the digital world. So as these technologies seemingly dominate our society, we may ask, is this increase in sensory devices really beneficial for society? One issue is privacy. However, there are also numerous advantages, including advancements in medical and healthcare fields, improvements in industrial and agricultural productivity, and greater interconnected of senses with the environment. So one benefit is the advancement of healthcare and medical fields through improved reliability and quality. Sensors can provide for constant monitoring of patients when caregivers are unavailable, which allows for constant surveillance while saving time. In a 2008 survey in elderly homes, sensory devices has led to the conceptualization of smart homes, which are residences equipped with sensory devices that enhance safety, provide for constant monitoring of patients at all times. The data from the sensors is then transmitted to caregivers so that they can provide healthcare and medical aid when necessary, while also reducing excessive patrols. Wearable body sensors allow for patient self-assessment of their own health and allow for preventative methods and increased disease prevention and management. The increase of autonomy and involvement of patients in their personal health care decreases reliance on additional aid and physicians, which revolutionizes healthcare management and spending. Another benefit is the greater interconnectedness of senses. Senses provide valuable insight and allow for the enjoyment of life. However, some people lack normal sensory receptors or the ability to use them due to biological disorders and disabilities. So, we use vision for a multitude of tasks, including facial and object recognition, navigation, and space and depth assessment. However, for the visually impaired, additional devices must be implemented for the role of vision. The Tactile Visual Substitution Array uses a video camera to gather visual data and transfers this to the brain via a tactile array attached to the skin. This allows for the blind to perform a variety of complex tasks, including hand-eye coordination, facial recognition, and distance estimation successfully. In the stimulus Senses and Sensibility, Richard Axel describes sense as a central modality by which organisms can communicate with their environment, including a variety of odors, receptors, and discrimination of odor molecules. However, 1 to 2% of North Americans have a smell disorder, which also detriments their sense of taste. But sensory devices have various receptors that allow for recognition and communication and artificial connections with the environment that can be transferred to the brain to regulate an artificial stimuli response. So although these sensory devices would not be able to encompass recognition of nearly all odorous molecules, they would be able to provide recognition of some vital odorous molecules which would improve smell disorders. Another benefit is the advancement of industrial and agricultural productivity, as well as improvement in consumer technology and safety. A system of sensory devices can effectively manage wildfires. Sensory devices in the burn zone detect changes in temperature, pressure, and humidity, and monitor the passage of the flame to assess the performance of previous burns in the tested parks. This can be used by researchers to assess growth of future forests in relation to the frequency and effects of wildfires, and allow for farmers to predict for optimal harvest in relation to crop burns. This allows for farmers to assess the productivity of their cropland and predict future profitability and harvest. So therefore, the increase in agricultural productivity due to sensors allows for increased profits and increased production while reducing costs. In airplanes, sonar detection systems are a versatile and adaptable resource used in many passenger airplanes for monitoring of the engine and outside conditions, including airspeed, temperature, and pressure. These conditions allow for increased consumer safety and reduced operating costs by 20% because people are not needed to monitor the airplane's conditions. So although sensors allow for convenient access to various sources of data, they also can permit unauthorized access to private information and permit unauthorized access to this information. Nanosensors, which are small enough to avoid detection by the private eye, can be used as locking or listening or tracking devices, which is spying. Spying via these sensory devices prevents many companies or people from advancing their infrastructure or databases using sensory devices. In addition, this can prevent many private sources from being released, and as well as private reservoirs of highly jeopardizable information can be created. So while there are many potential solutions to privacy, the extrasensory article suggests that data is obfuscated at the root node and that privacy is tuned to personal preferences. However, one of the most reliable privacy solutions I've found is the CPDA and SMART aggregation networks. These aggregation networks are built on existing secure communication sources and prevent private readings from one unit of sensors from traveling to another unit of sensors. Although this requires additional investments, this can allow for privacy without obstructing the data quality. And so in conclusion, as sensors increase in prominence in our society, we should welcome them and implement them in our society, but also ensure that we take additional measures to ensure privacy with the various solutions presented. Thank you for watching, and here are my sources.
All right. Okay, let me ask you a couple of questions. So, what information did you need before you began your research, and how did that information shape your research?
Before I began my research, I needed to see where sensors were really implemented and how they were implemented. I needed to see how common they were in real life, or if they were only in formal technology and professional businesses. So that shaped my research, because I realized it was actually sensors can be more consumer-based than professional-based, and that made me realize that it actually has a lot more benefits than we realize.
Okay. So, to follow that up, so what would you continue to research if you had more time on this issue?
Okay, I would continue to research sensory devices' effects on the body, because some suggest putting sensory devices in the body and that may actually cause harm. So I would like to continue research on that, because sometimes it's hard to identify if the sensory devices are really causing harm within the body.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Tika.